Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Mi, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the leader of the Revolutionary Army and Luffy's father, Dragon. In all the moments that Dragon appears, we've always seen the appearance of great storms approaching places where he appears, demonstrating that he may possess a devil fruit capable of manipulating the wind or even the weather. In certain moments, we've seen rain clouds are shown approaching, but based on the fruits shown in the manga, none have been shown to have as much power as this one, because it's practically impossible that there is someone with such a high level of control over the power of a devil fruit. But recently in the manga, we've also seen Luffy go through his awakening and was able to do some amazing feats with his mythical Zoan fruit. So it could be likely that Dragon, if he has a devil fruit, may have something similar and it may even be awakened. But this wouldn't be just a simple fruit, but a legendary fruit, much like the Hibinomi model Nika. A fruit in which the power may have been forgotten for many years, being that this fruit is one of the rarest ever to exist. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the possible fruit that Dragon could possess, how Dragon could have obtained such a powerful fruit, and possibly how the existence was hidden and few people could have ever had this power. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, we'd be absolutely honored if you consider leaving us a like, or even subscribing with a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing the video with your friends. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, Dragon is a very powerful character, even though we don't know much about him or his background. And even if he has not been showing his real powers, he is the most wanted person in the world. Now, a lot is due to his achievements with his organization of revolutionaries, but there may be something more to it. Dragon's powers are quite mysterious and still remain unknown, but the few appearances we've seen Dragon in, it's given us some clues of what his possible real power could be, because in his appearances, the weather always seems to change. It is as if he possesses the ability to alter time, or not only that, but Dragon has also demonstrated the ability to create strong winds capable of covering a very large city. In these scenes, we've seen citizens to be thrown upward as if a great tornado were passing over them, and this power is so great that it seems to be unknown even to the Gorosei or even the Marines. Because even though he may have faced several world government opponents, at no time are Dragon's powers ever mentioned, and this may lead many of us to believe that this power is so mysterious even among the characters of One Piece, but still is very powerful indeed. With our recent appearance of the fruit of the sun god Nika, we now can imagine several possibilities where there may exist other deities that have the control of some other element, such as the god of darkness or even the god of weather. These legendary fruits of deities could work in a very similar way, where initially they seem to be a simple fruit possessing only one specific power, but with their awakening, the fruit can reveal its true form. What makes it really difficult to distinguish a legendary fruit from an ordinary one, it's because the users of this power before awakening have powers really similar to the characteristics of a Paramecia or Logia or maybe even a Zoan, but with this awakening, the fruit proves to be something all very different. If we just use Luffy's fruit, for example, it seemed to be a simple rubber fruit with the ability to turn the user's body into rubber, and he was really never mentioned to be something really special by other people. It was only when Luffy obtained it and started his journey to become the king of the pirates that this fruit began to be recognized by other people, but the true power of this fruit no one knew. With the recent awakening of this rubber fruit and showed that the fruit was actually the fruit of the sun god Nika, it is possible that this fruit could be much stronger than compared to others, stronger maybe even than Kaidos Fruit, which so far has been shown to be one of the fruits with the greatest attack power. But yet, as Kaido has fought against this sun god awakening, it shows that this fruit is really strong, even if its real potential hasn't been fully demonstrated. So there very well could be more than one legendary devil fruit scattered around the world. After all, the world of One Piece is gigantic, so there could be many different kinds of fruits, and during the past, Dragon could have found a devil fruit by accident, or even tried to find this fruit to eat specifically. In the beginning, it might have just been a simple fruit with the power to control the winds or something like that. But as time went by, Dragon was able to control more and more of his fruit better, and being able to manipulate it perfectly, it would give him a chance to awaken. And only when he awakened his fruit would Dragon be able to use this amazing fruit to manipulate the weather around him, as if he were a weather manipulating deity, being capable to change the atmosphere of the place in a moment's notice at his whim. So if this were the fruit of a rain god or a weather god, really all three types of fruit could fit into this category, because Paramecia fruit, even though they really have no elemental powers, once they're awakened, they can change the environment around it to possess the character of this fruit. If, for example, the user could somehow attract rain clouds with this Paramecia, it might be that with their awakening, they could not only attract clouds, but also have the ability to make a large gale appear on the spot. Another strong possibility would of course be a Logia, because as we know, many users of a fruit of this category have the ability to modify the environment, but not in the way that they wish. which they have to manipulate it as a consequence of the use of their powers. This effect was quite easily demonstrated on the island where Akainu and Aokiji fought, and the confrontation was so intense between the two Logia users that this confrontation was able to transform the climate of the island itself, where one half became an island of flames and the other half became an island of ice. But although these seem to fit these attributes really well, it doesn't really seem that it seems to come without limitations, because this would require the power of a deity to be able to create rain or actually control the weather in the way that they want. So this leaves the only possibility of it being a Zoan fruit, because even if this devil fruit transforms the user into an animal or a being considered legendary, there may also be an additional possibility that in reality, Dragon's fruit could be a mythological Zoan. For some mythological fruits bear the names of very powerful entities with distinct powers never seen before, and this gives the user incredible powers, but with their awakening, these powers become even more amplified, making them capable of defeating any desired enemy. During the anime, we've seen around 6 mythical Zoan fruits, but only one awakened, which is Marco, who possesses the Tori-Tori-no-Mi model Phoenix, allowing him to transform into a large blue flamed phoenix with healing powers. But even with its great healing powers, this fruit can still be quite offensive and used for combat, and Marco can transform parts of his body into phoenixes or adapt during combat, so he can even transform his foot into phoenix claws and make his blows even stronger. Not only that, but this Zoan fruit also gives Marco incredible endurance and strength, and this increases not even when he's in full phoenix form or hybrid form, which allows him to be much stronger than a human without Zoan powers. Another very strong but little explored fruit is the Hito-Hito-no-Mi model Daibutsu, and this is the fruit that Sengoku, our former fleet admiral, possesses. Now this fruit allows him to transform into a giant golden being or Buddha characteristic, and it is not known what the powers of this transformation fully are, for we've only seen Sengoku use this in a few attacks with his transformation, but it could be possible that this gives the user incredible strength and resistance to attacks since their body is pretty much coated in gold. This coating could serve as armable, capable of defending even the most powerful blows from your opponents, even more so with the incredible increase in resistance and strength that a Zoan fruit gives to its user. Another mythical Zoan fruit, which is very powerful but not really explored by its user, was the Hibinomi model Yamata no Orochi. This fruit gives the user the ability to transform into kind of an 8-headed dragon or a hydra. Now, although this power may seem just like a basic hydra, it really stems from the legend of the Yamata no Orochi, and this fruit gives the user almost immortality, because even if their head are torn off or cut off, they can regenerate it so another one is born in its place. But because the user is Orochi, he's not a warrior, much less someone brave, so he may not have ever really taken this fruit to the height that it could have done. This fruit really only gives him an increase in strength and other attributes, but he really can't utilize the true potentials of the full power, whereas in someone else's hands, we could see the real powers of this amazing fruit. Two other mythical Zoan fruits that we've seen that are kind of very similar but have different powers have been the Inu-Inu-no-Mi model Okuchi no Makami and the Inu-Inu-no-Mi model Kyubi no Kitsune, which are very powerful and have very interesting characteristics themselves. The Okuchi no Makami fruit allows the user to transform into a large fruit with the ability to create ice and create a sort of ice shield in their glass and even use their ice in weapons. Not only that, the user can also use this ice to attack enemies, causing them to freeze their bodies completely. Meanwhile, the Kyubi fruit that allows the user to transform into a 9-tailed fox gives the user the power to transform into other people, taking on their appearance, voice, and clothing just like the Kitsune legends. And finally, we have the last two mythical Zoan fruits that we've seen. Now, the one with the greatest attack and powers demonstrated so far are Kaidos Fruit, which is the Uon-Uno-no-Mi model Seryu, which allows him to transform into a huge blue dragon, possessing almost all the attributes of a dragon, such as the ability to release great bursts of fire from his mouth. On top of that, Kaido can also create clouds that he can use to move around in the sky as if he were flying, but in reality, he would just be walking through the clouds that he creates every moment he wants to. Finally, we have Luffy's fruit that he's finally awakened, and this has proven to be possibly the most powerful so far. Luffy's Nika fruit possesses a great diversity of attacks and a natural resistance, making this Zoan a very powerful Zoan fruit. So with all that said, there is a very good possibility that Dragon may possess a mythical Zoan fruit from a deity, or at least a being that has the ability to control the weather or winds. But in order for a fruit like this to have these abilities, it has to be awakened. After all, we saw as Luffy's fruit, he seemed to have Zoan, Logia, and also Paramecia powers. This is something really similar to the scenes we've seen Dragon in. Since his powers are so mysterious, we really can't figure out if he's using a Zoan, a Logia, a Paramecia, or just has really good timing with the weather. So if Dragon does have a fruit, this would indicate that although he has a fruit, it is indeed very powerful and it could even be awakened. But nobody has information about it, not even the world government, who really seems to have a list list of quite a few cataloged fruits, but maybe, just maybe, the Gorsing. But he doesn't reveal the secrets of the fruit and hasn't been revealed yet. So if Dragon possesses this fruit, it may in fact be a legendary fruit that only Dragon or a very few people like Im-sama have the knowledge of, and even know the full extent of the powers of this amazing fruit. But for now, we would love to know what you think about this. What do you think Dragon's powers are? Do you think it could be a mythical Zoan? Do you think it may be a wind fruit or something like a Quetzalcoatl or something like that? Let us know in the comments below. And as we wrap up our video today, we want to thank you all so much for watching to the very end. Make sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like as you head out to take on the rest of your day. Hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.